Oh my god, ladies and gentlemen, this is dkdynamite, and today we may have just received one of the best pieces of news in a long time. We're going to be discussing some shocking Year 2 DLC that was found for Cold War, and yes, it's much more than cosmetics, but we also have some other major announcements that you guys are going to freak out over. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and as you guys may have saw last night after I posted my Vanguard Season 2 roadmap video where we broke down everything coming to the new update, PlayStation Scythe went ahead and reported, as I predicted, that a brand new Cold War update got added to the PlayStation database. It was only a matter of time, and I think we all guessed that it definitely was going to be a February update as well. The update is actually pretty big. It's 9 gigabytes in size, and it's for a reason, as we're going to get into. But the preload then went out this morning for PlayStation platforms, and it let all of us install the update within around an hour after they released the preload. And there's a reason the update was so big. We're looking at a lot more content than we all expected for Cold War this year. We all know that gaming scooper Tom Henderson, who now works at IGN, did claim that Cold War would be the most updated Call of Duty post-cycle. Black Ops 3 once had that title where it got 3 full years of support, so I'm like, okay, if Cold War is going to top that, then should we be expecting some frequent updates throughout this year and even the next when Modern Warfare 2 comes out? That could be the case. So firstly, we have our new operator, the man himself, Ravenov, who I think a lot of us definitely expected to be released as an operator. I'm surprised he wasn't added sooner. There's been several rumors of even more operators coming to the game, so it definitely is still possible that we see Kravchenko, Peck, or even Raptor 1, some other fan favorites. Never say never for those guys, but he'll be available through a new bundle known as the Ravenov Tracer Pack, and we're not sure what will be included in the bundle, but the artwork for it has been posted early online, as you can see. It does show Ravenov holding a new melee weapon that we're not exactly familiar with. Heavy Grim Reaper vibes, as I'm getting right here. So this melee weapon is going to be known as the Scythe. And we know that once Ravenov does release as an operator soon, I'm sure people are going to have a lot of fun playing as him with Firebase Z or even Operation Inversia and seeing two Ravenovs on screen at the same time. It's going to be creative, but when it comes to this Scythe melee weapon that he's holding, it will of course release with its own unlocked challenge as all other DLC weapons do for Black Ops Cold War. We're just not sure what the challenge is yet for this weapon. I'll keep you guys posted when that does get released. With recent rumors of Slasher Deathmatch coming to the game, I wonder if this is going to be the weapon that we use in that mode as a bit of an advertisement for the melee weapon itself to promote everybody to go ahead and buy the bundle. So it's going to be similar to Gunfight Blueprints, I could assume, where that mode is a giant advertisement for all the bundles, whereas Slasher Deathmatch may go ahead and allow us to use the Scythe weapon for free. So in case you guys missed my video a couple of days ago, a lot of curious individuals online who do post early information did confirm that Slasher Deathmatch is supposed to replace Scream Deathmatch from the Haunting event, and it'll be the same game mode of course in Spear, just without all the Scream and Halloween references. I'm looking forward to that, but no new information was found today about the upcoming release of this mode, so we can just assume that it'll be a separate Cold War Year 2 update that hopefully releases sooner than later that provides us with an update on that mode. What was also found is 2 other DLC weapons. The first is a Soviet AR, which got rumored a couple of days ago, which we now know is officially named the Vargo 52. If you head over into the custom game restriction settings, you'll see the Vargo listed under weapon attachments. So we can get the hint that this weapon is releasing sooner than some of the other content that is supposedly coming to Cold War Year 2, since there is a Mastercraft bundle that'll be available for the Vargo on the same day the base weapon releases with its unlock challenge. The bundle is currently known as the Pharaoh Fury Mastercraft and does have a wild inspect animation, as you guys can see on screen, a bit of an early preview as to what it's going to look like. It gives me Venom or Soundwave type vibes all throughout the rifle, which is incredible looking, absolutely gorgeous, and I'll once again be covering all this content as it releases as well. And so far, the new bundles we're going to talk about today for Cold War are blowing all the Vanguard bundles out of the water, to no surprise of course. What's interesting is the second DLC weapon that's coming though, as we talked about in another previous video. An SMG was rumored to be codenamed Fléchette, and it does have an icon. We can actually see what the weapon looks like with today's patch, but there isn't a bundle tied to the weapon. And we all know when it comes to DLC weapons for Cold War, whenever a new one releases with a free unlock challenge, a bundle also releases alongside it in case you guys don't want to do the challenge, just want to buy it straight away so you can use it very quickly. So that also tells me that a separate individual Cold War Year 2 update is also going to be on the way, maybe next month or even sooner than that will feature more bundles, including one for this upcoming Fléchette SMG. I would absolutely love and wouldn't be surprised if Treyarch adds about 2 large-scaled updates like this one during every season of Vanguard moving forward. That would definitely line up with Tom Henderson's claim about frequent Year 2 updates for Black Ops Cold War. Now here's some of the juicy details. Out of nowhere, people people did find references to not one but two new maps also coming to Black Ops Cold War. We have the legendary map WMD from Black Ops 1 as well as Jungle. However, what's worth noting is that WMD is playable right now if you're one of those sneaky individuals on PC that can force load it. I don't have a PC, I can't data mine, and I'm not a leaker, so I won't be doing that, but you could definitely see a lot of gameplays already popping up over on Twitter, even Reddit. People posted the loading screen and images of WMD, which means that that map could drop any day now without any marketing. It could just happen. But the same thing cannot be done for Jungle, meaning it's not really in the game yet. There are just references to the map releasing, meaning we'll need another patch at some point soon before people start force loading Jungle into their game or start posting early previews of the map. So Jungle is a future update for Cold War that could be closer to the mid-season update of Season 2 for Vanguard. Right around that time could be when we end up seeing Jungle, but just like the Flechette SMG, that means Cold War Year 2 is far from over. I know Jungle has literally been in every other Black Ops game except Black Ops 2. It was in Black Ops 4 twice even, but I still really enjoy that map. And come on, WMD only got remastered once through the Black Ops Pass over in Black Ops 4, and you know a ton of people probably never even saw the map more than once in the rotation when searching through public lobbies of multiplayer. And plus, these maps are free as well, right? No payment required, no paywall, as is all the other Cold War DLC that's released. But there are of course a number of maps missing from Onslaught and Cold War Zombies, and maybe WMD or Jungle will be added to the Onslaught rotation. I'll keep you guys posted with what's going on with Zombies in the future as well. Along with all that, we have some incredible looking bundles on the way for this game, which absolutely, like I said, blow all of the recent Vanguard bundles just completely out of the water. I'm impressed with these. We have the Covert Processing Tracer Pack that I believe is tied to Hudson's campaign skin that for some reason wasn't a playable skin in-game already. It looks great. We also have a really clean Valhalla bound bundle for Wraith, and we also have our first ever bonus skin for Striker that's known as the Arcade Brawl Ultra Skin Pack. Beautiful artwork there, and one of my favorite areas in this game, which is the arcade from Pines. It looks incredible, and like I reported on a couple of months ago, with I think the most recent patch that Cold War got closer to Vanguard's launch, it was back in I believe early November, we then had the ability to click triangle on Striker's name, indicating that there will be more skins available for his character. You can't click triangle or whatever your key is for characters like Captain Price or even John McClane, since there aren't any other skins releasing for those characters. So that was kind of a hint a couple of months ago that Striker would be getting more skins at some point in the future. Now we also have the Beachside Bullets Reactive Pack featuring a number of weapons, and I can't show you all the images on screen, we don't have access to all of them, but some of them have already been posted online. We're also getting the Stockpile Ultra Reactive Skin, but I haven't seen the bundle artwork for this one yet, just the name of the bundle that has already popped up. So like I said, we're only getting about, what is this, 5+ new bundles to Cold War, but they look amazing. I think people out there that do like buying Call of Duty bundles are going to be happy with these 100%. Now Treyarch then went ahead and tweeted that in preparation for Season 2 of Vanguard, they're also releasing patch notes for the latest Cold War updates. And they said, for global progression, rename the progression tab to career progression and added a legacy progression tab in barracks for easier progression menu navigation. Fully agree with that one. Addressed an issue where seasonal progression was showing incorrect prestige icons. They also addressed the clipping issue when using the zombie head gesture while using a sentry score streak. Addressed an issue where the visual effect will remain stuck on the player when performing the soul torn finishing move. One of the recent bundles they added in, which I covered in a separate video a couple of months ago. For multiplayer combat record, addressed an issue where the combat record could sometimes appear locked under certain circumstances. And lastly, for Zombies UI, addressed the UI error that would sometimes occur when playing Outbreak in split screen. They also addressed an issue in Forsaken where the pizza delivery text could overlap the trial text. Definitely an issue for those out there like me who have OCD. So there's that small patch, but if you guys are wondering, well, when will this new Black Ops Cold War content end up releasing? What will the schedule be for that? So as we saw since Cold War came out, and even up until the most recent bundles released, I think it was a good 2 months ago, they usually release new Cold War bundles every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, meaning tomorrow could be the release of one of the bundles we just talked about here in this video, so be on the lookout for that one. I'll be covering it in a separate video, of course. And when it comes to the maps, I mean, we might not get much marketing for WMD or Jungle eventually. We might just get a tweet or a mention in some future patch notes. It's a bit unclear, but I know Charlie Intel will be all over this as well whenever the map does pop up for people publicly in game. Hopefully sooner than later, but it could be any time. I mean, with Modern Warfare 2019 and the way that that game got quote-unquote year 2 updates with SOAP, the extra maps, weapons, bundles, Infinity Ward never said a word. The content just came out and Charlie Intel reported on it. But for a game like Black Ops 3, well, hey, they released individual trailers for every black market update that game got, even during Infinite Warfare and World War II's life cycle, which is crazy. Now, if you guys want to hear more about what's going on with Zombies Zombies, I'll be making a separate video about what could come to Cold War Zombies thanks to some new spicy info that popped up today, and I'll be posting that probably tomorrow or later this week. Be on the lookout for that one. Now, Treyarch also went ahead and released a beautiful GIF of DLC 1 for Vanguard Zombies, or however you want to label it, Terra Maledicta. And this GIF goes hard. I mean, this is our first look at the Dark Ether inside of our new Dark Ether storyline that begun in Cold War. And obviously, red is a big focus here in the Dark Ether since Scythe hasn't become the Forsaken yet, turned everything purple. So this is going to be crazy. It'll only be an arena in the new Terra Maledicta DLC experience, or a portal, I should say, that you can jump through, but hopefully the Void objective, which features round-based, is offered for this arena specifically. So we'll just have to wait and see, but we could all guess an intro cinematic cutscene should also be coming out for Terra Maledicta, maybe by the end of this week. We didn't get a Season 1 outro cutscene for the Vanguard post-launch story, and we also didn't get an ending cutscene for Duran Fung either, so I think at the very least we should be getting at least an intro cinematic for all future Vanguard Zombies maps. They also released a gameplay trailer today for Vanguard Season 2, which gave us a glimpse as to what the new content is going to be for multiplayer in Warzone. There is a fairly big emphasis on Warzone, even more than the multiplayer, but not a single thing was shown for Zombies, which could be a good thing. Maybe that means we'll get a full-fledged Terra Maledicta trailer, which features gameplay and bits of the intro cinematic. I mean, with Duran Fung, we got our reveal for the map, which featured a blend of gameplay and the cutscene, and then we got the cutscene released individually later. For Cold War, though, things were a bit different, where for maps like Firebase Z and Modern Toten, they kind of mixed the intro cinematic with the gameplay trailer all in one. It wasn't a full-fledged release of a new cinematic intro cutscene like we got in previous Black Ops games, but let's see what happens. Keep you guys posted with everything going on also in Vanguard Season 2. But I also wanted to point out that there is a list of other maps that are supposedly coming to Black Ops Cold War at some point in the future, and specifically with multiplayer, maps like Plaza, Yemen, Firing Range, Launch, Radiation. Those are maps that got rumored, I think, even as far back as Season 3 for Cold War, all the way back then. And we know that Summit was a part of the region called Weather Station that never released for Fireteam or Outbreak, so I think it's also possible we see Summit at some point. And in a perfect world, I would love more Fireteam maps. I don't know if the player count for Fireteam can justify releasing more regions. I play it pretty often on PS5 and I can always find the lobby, so I'm hoping that at some point they release more regions for that, even though they already confirmed previously that Outbreak wasn't getting any more regions, but maybe Fireteam still can. We also know the entirety of Grid, a fan favorite map from Black Ops 1, is fully remastered inside of the Duga region from Fireteam, so maybe Treyarch for the first time will actually pull sections from the Fireteam maps and release those for 6v6 multiplayer or even gunfight as well. I'd absolutely love to see that. Since Modern Warfare did it, they broke off pieces of Verdansk, released them in multiplayer, and the same thing will probably happen with Caldera and Vanguard, so let's see what happens with that. But I would take any map from Black Ops 1, which already fits the theme perfectly of Cold War anyway. I would take any map from that game and have it fully remastered here for Cold War. I think it would be great, especially the maps out there that haven't gotten enough love, like Drive-In and Zoo, which finally came to this game. Maps that deserve a remaster or even a remake of sorts. I'll take it. But I think what's great is that Year 2 is real. For those out there that were saying, oh, it's clickbait, it's not real, it's like, okay, even if it doesn't include zombies for Cold War Year 2, it still features more multiplayer maps, weapons, I mean, more replayability overall. You have new content to grind camos for, new maps to experiment on, new bundles coming out, a new operator you can play around with in some of the zombie cutscenes. I mean, there is so much great content coming, and I'm really excited to continue covering Cold War for you guys. I'll also be doing more gameplay streams as soon as possible. If we get an indicator as to when this Cold War content is coming out, I'll certainly stream the launch of when this content does release. I can't wait for that. I hope to see you guys there in some future live streams. Now, I love the appreciation I've been seeing lately for games like Black Ops 4, a game that I think offered quite a bit that people really slept on, and it is considered the last traditional Call of Duty for its time. When you compare that to MW, Cold War, Vanguard, I'll be making a separate video hopefully in the next week or two where we talk more about the appreciation of Black Ops 4 and what that game really offered to its community. But for Cold War's case, it's like, hey, I've been supporting the game since day one, a lot of other people have as well, and no regrets at all. But when you compare Cold War to games like MW, Vanguard, and the eventual release of MW2, Cold War will still be the only game that truly stands out, that also stands on its own 2 feet and offers a different style of gameplay that isn't catered to slide canceling, MW, that engine, Warzone. it really is its own game. It's very unique, and I'm glad that people out there are realizing, hey, I gotta wake up and smell the coffee. Cold War is where it's at right now. And no disrespect people out there that enjoy MW or prefer Vanguard, more power to you, but Cold War really is my cup of tea, and it's the same case for other channels out there as well. But like I mentioned in a previous video, I'm getting heavy Black Ops 3 vibes from this new Year 2 content we're getting for Cold War. If you remember in Black Ops 3, people did care a lot more about DLC weapons and events and the remasters that came to that game more than what was being offered in Infinite Warfare, than Modern Warfare Remastered, even World War II in some cases. I think the same thing's happening right now with Cold War when you compare it to Vanguard and eventually MW2. But lastly, definitely last but not least, in a new blog post, Microsoft did confirm they are committed to releasing Call of Duty through the term of any existing agreement and also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement. So what does that confirm for you guys? Even when the Microsoft acquisition goes through, Call of Duty isn't leaving PlayStation, and that's something I've been arguing on the podcast and even in recent videos where I'm like, wait, why would Microsoft want to miss out on all those extra sales that Call of Duty gets on PlayStation when all the money would go to them anyway? I get the argument that it's such an expensive deal, it's an expensive acquisition, you know, almost $70 billion, so why would they want to keep selling Call of Duty on the competitor's platform? But all in all, if it's the best-selling franchise on PlayStation year in and year out, why would they miss out on that bag? I mean, people could argue, well, they could use the loss if they cut Call of Duty off from PlayStation and use that to drive more sales to Xbox consoles or Game Pass subscriptions if Call of Duty's ever on Game Pass. But the way I see it with the Call of Duty franchise, I think the most that we'll see from Microsoft is some extra bundles you can unlock for free if you own COD through the Game Pass. Maybe they'll offer something where, if you have Xbox Game Pass and you have your monthly subscription, you could play Call of Duty day one as it releases, and you can save a lot of money instead of spending the full $60. And the thing is, we know that the Sony and Activision contract does last until the end of 2023, so even if some serious changes happen, we wouldn't even see that until after the next Black Ops comes out, and rumor has it the Call of Duty release cycle is coming to an end after the next Black Ops, so either way, there will be a big gap in between the next Black Ops and whatever else Call of Duty has to offer beyond that. I think what's going to happen after the next Black Ops releases is we're going to be seeing yearly updates for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2, and the next Black Ops game, while devs can then start working on other IPs that aren't Call of Duty, or can actually work on a Call of Duty without interruption and release that whenever it's ready in, 3 to 4 years, instead of that yearly cycle that has devs probably extremely stressed every single year for no reason. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank the heavens for more Cold War DLC content. I'm beyond grateful for all of this. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comments about upcoming DLC weapons, maps, the bundles, and some other surprises that hopefully we'll end up getting over the next couple of months with Vanguard's life cycle. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.